A group of disengaged dock workers of stevedoring companies embarked on a peaceful protest with the hope of drawing the attention of the federal government and relevant agencies to their plight to help them claim their terminal benefits.
Representatives of dock workers working for stevedoring companies chant solidarity songs as they approach Channels Television headquarters in Lagos. They have travelled from Port Harcourt in Rivers State and Calabar in Cross River State to seek the TV medium in making their grievance known to those concerned about their plight.
Africa is Soweto.
Their appointments with stevedoring were disengaged because the principal, Integrated Logistics Services Limited, INTELS, terminated the contract of their employer. While that is beyond their control, they are however asking for the payment of their severance benefits.
We are here to plead with you to help us tell the federal government and well-meaning Nigerians to intervene on our behalf for INTELS to pay the stevedoring contractors that will in turn pay us our total sovereign benefit, terminal benefit, and redundancy benefits.
The protesters claim they have written several letters to INTELS without response.
So we have written to the union, we have written to INTELS to no avail. The top management of INTELS, they all moved to Switzerland. Those who are here on air there, they made themselves demigod. They all listen to us. So what we are begging, we know we have a good leader in person of President Muhammad Buhari. We are begging him to intervene to save our soul.
Because of this, some of our members have died. Some of them, their children have been dropped out from school. Nothing. Some have been rejected by the landlord. So we are pleading between now and December they should pay us our money so that we can make use of it and so that our children also can go back to school. No contract is forever. In this issue, we have a template which is the minimum standard agreement that's guiding our operations. In the agreement, there is a section that says that at the end of every contract, the terminal operator has to pay a severance package, and even the redundant package to a contractor. In turn, the contractor now will pay to the workers. But INTELS has refused.
It's not the first time these dock workers are protesting the non-payment of their terminal allowance. In 2020, they besieged INTEL's office in Port Harcourt. In an effort to get INTEL's reaction to these allegations, Channel's eyewitness crew put several calls to phone numbers provided. Out of 4, only that of Usman Hussein went through. Mr. Hussein, who is the Managing Director of Associated Maritime Service Limited, the company that serves the middleman between INTELS and stevedoring, however turned down our demand for a television interview on the matter. In a phone conversation, he explained that INTELS did not include in its contract with stevedoring to pay severance benefits to its workers in the event of contract termination. Eyewitness crew caught up with Mr. Emmanuel Nted, the Managing Director of Modern Stevedoring, to tell us how his company is involved in the story.
Just last year, 2020, Intel terminated all the contract. They terminated all the contract. And this group of workers have been working under Modern Stevedoring Company since 2005. Just last year, they came to my office here to protest. And I made it clear to them that all of them has the minimum standard which we used to operate in the maritime industry. As a dock workers, you must have the minimum standard. Where we started this issue, we talked with the legal department, who said the number of people we're talking about is much. That these people are not the men workers in the port, they are those in the pool. And I said there's no difference between those in the pool and the men workers. But however, since we have a minimum standard in the industry, let us group them as dock workers who are doing, how do we call this, maybe technical casual. And just give them as it is in the minimum standard. 1 million naira for those who serve for 10 years. And maybe who serve for 5 years, maybe about 600 or so. So that is lesser for them to pay. So that people will not go through pain. Give them, let them go. The workers agree that when they give them that time, I consulted them, they will go. So we give them the minimum standard from the maritime workers, with a letter. No response from INTELS up to now. And that's why the workers, when they protested last time, they said, whatever happened, I should not hold them responsible. That they will close down all Intel operation. And nothing will come out from their premises. And I said, well, let us take it easy and see how this thing can work.
Contrary to AMS' position on agreement, Mr. Inted explains that there was a written agreement to pay severance benefits.
It was the terminal operators that pay the stevedoring contractor, who in turn will pay the stevedoring laborers. Because the stevedoring contractor is just a commission agent. And it was agreed in a stakeholders meeting, it was documented that whenever a docker leaves the industry, it was the terminal operator that we pay, it's not the stevedoring company. Because the stevedoring company has no money to pay. It is not even the agreement. So Intel refused to pay up till now.
It remains to be seen what the future holds for these aggrieved dock workers who have vowed to sustain their call and prevail on INTELS to meet their demands.
East Africa, struggle, continue.